So let's talk about something with respect to persuasion and with respect to dishonest and I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Propaganda-ish persuasion. I just saw an article. I read an article not too long ago about how our future dishes or how our future dinners, how our future dinner plates will look like in the year 2050. With respect to all the climate changes, all sorts of new species that may appear, all sorts of species that might die or go extinct or whatever as a result of all the proverbial or so-called climate changes, especially the so-called man-made ones. There's a reason why I'm saying so-called, because I don't think that man-made climate changes are that big of a deal, but whatever. Doesn't really matter what I think or believe. But here's essentially what I'm getting at. So the main photo of the article featured a dinner plate with salmon and some kelp. You know what kelp is? Seaweeds. Those things that are in the ocean that isn't grass or plants, but they sort of like resemble plants and or grass, right? Seaweeds, kelp, whatever. That's not food, in my opinion. And it's not even salad. It's seaweeds. Food for the jellyfish and the regular fish and all sorts of other organisms that live around in the sea. And here they are, and they want to sort of like subtly persuade us to accept that this is our dinner table, or this is our dinner plate in the year 2050. Now, that was the head photo. That was sort of like the header photo. When you clicked and you read through the article, there was actually an example, because they were interviewing multiple people who were doing some sort of a research and preparation and investigation and conducted various scientific studies and so on with respect to future food production. One of those featured studies, let's say, was a farmer who wanted to produce beef from cows or from cattle. In other words, this farmer wanted to produce climate-friendly beef, which is fine. I mean, I don't really care about climate-friendly or non-climate-friendly beef. I just want beef, because beef's healthy, beef's tasty, and I like beef. Same goes for pork and eggs, or pork and poultry. Now, that photo could have been included as part of the photo of the beef could have been included. The photo of the beef on the dinner plate, that is, could have been included as the header photo, but it wasn't. And I believe that was a subtle but determined and 100% deliberate effort on the part of the journalists and the media outlet in order to omit the very fact that people are still wanting to eat beef or meat, and try to subtly brainwash us into believing that we're supposed to eat fish and kelp. There are also people and so this is a way of using persuasion as a means of propaganda, because it is to omit information. It's kind of like the same thing with respect to these forest fires that have been taking place in France and Spain lately. A lot of them, nearly all of them, have been due to arson. People have been arrested for arson. People are suspected of having, ignited the fires. Now, because of the climate and because of the dry season and the high temperatures, the likelihood of forest fires, no doubt has increased. Right? That's fine. And that might be due to climate change. But what triggered the fires themselves was arson. So you can't say that because of climate change there are forest fires. That's wrong. That's playing with semantics. I don't play that game. Likewise, You can't say that in the year 2050 all you have to eat is fish and kelp. It's wrong. And that's the tricky and the sneaky way that these people are using persuasion to prevent you from eating beef and to propagate their message without you being able to arrest them, quote unquote. Be very mindful about that. And that is persuasion used in the wrong way. If you want to learn more about persuasion, get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is below the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this. And I'll see you there.